Hey there, Fifth Street Baptist Church family and friends. I hope you guys are having a great week. We really had a wonderful time worshiping together on Sunday morning and Sunday night. We're back into the study of our book of the Revelation, and we're excited about what God is doing here at Fifth Street Baptist Church. Briefly, I want to remind you of a couple things that are coming up over the next couple weeks. On Wednesday night, we'll gather back together for prayer, Bible study, and missions. And then on Sunday, we're going to gather for worship on Sunday morning. There'll be no evening service on Sunday night. We're going to gather for our annual kickball game and church picnic at the park at 6 o'clock p.m. So make sure to join us then, not at the church. We're going to gather at the park and join us then for our annual picnic and kickball game. It's always a good time. And then the following Sunday, October 6th, we will gather at First Baptist Church of Big Pine Key for our annual association meeting. So make sure to join us there at 5 o'clock p.m. at First Baptist Church of Big Pine Key for our annual association meeting. We're going to worship together, celebrate what God has done among our churches over the past year. And of course, we'll eat because we're Southern Baptists and that's what we do. And so join us for that. It's sure to be, both those weekends are going to be a great time. Recently, I've been reading just a little bit of this book by David Platt called Follow Me. And it reminded me of something I had the opportunity to do with my girls a few months ago. We were up in the Northeast and we had a chance to hike up to the top of Cadillac Mountain. Cadillac Mountain is in Maine, specifically the Bar Harbor area. And we had a chance to hike from our campsite all the way up to the top of the mountain. And this path that we took to get up the mountain was not an easy path. It was hot that day. The sun was shining real bright and we didn't have a whole lot of water and the path was hard. We had to climb rocks. We had to, pull ourselves up on the side of cliff faces. And there was only really one path to get up to the top of that. And I was kind of leading the way and I keep telling the girls, like, follow me. We're walking up this path and you can see it was clearly marked, but it was hard. They were jumping over trees, climbing over rocks. And when we got toward the top of it, everybody was real tired, but we really wanted to get to the top. And we were so glad when we did, because when we came up to the top of that precipice, when we got to the top of Cadillac Mountain, it was breathtaking. We were looking down at the Atlantic Ocean. We looked down upon the woods. It was just beautiful. And that took away all the pain. That took away all the pain in our legs. Our thirst was gone. And that helped having a nice bottle of lemonade as well. But what we saw made the journey worth it as we followed that path. Now, in this book, David Platt talks about following Jesus. And there's an excerpt here I just want to read you. He says, "But dying is hard. It's no wonder that many of us try to avoid the difficult road of following Jesus, because Jesus calls us to die to ourselves and to follow him. In Matthew 7, Jesus exposes our dangerous tendency to gravitate toward that which is easy and popular. Hear his warning. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." In other words, there is a broad road that is inviting and inclusive. That this nice, comfortable, ever so crowded path is attractive and accommodating. The only thing that's required of you on this path is a one-time decision for Christ. And you don't have to worry about his commands, his standards, or his glory after making that decision. You now have the ticket to heaven, and your sin, whether manifested in self-righteousness or self-indulgence, will be tolerated along the way. But this is not the way of Jesus. He beckoned us down a hard road. And the word Jesus uses for this is associated in other parts of the Bible with pain, pressure, and tribulation and persecution. The way of Jesus is hard to follow, and it's hated by many. But I would finish that up with this. Yes, the way of Christ is narrow and hard. It causes us and calls us to make a lot of sacrifices, to be persecuted, to give things away and give up things here in this world, so that we could be rewarded with many, many things in heaven. But I want to just compel you today, church, to give up what the world has to offer and to follow Christ on that narrow path. And when you get to eternity, you'll be oh so glad you did. Our Lord is good and faithful, and he will fulfill his promises to you and to me. And so, church, let's follow him, and reward will be waiting for us in heaven. God bless you, church. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. Take care.